Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Talk About Sleep. So, this video and next are going to be our monthly question and answer type of format. So thank you for everybody who contributed to the channel over the last month or so. I will answer all your questions in this video and the next one. We'll do a little bit different this time, though. There seems to be a lot of buzz about the Trazodone video I made a couple of years back, so I'm going to have one video on those questions specifically and then everything else in the next video, okay? As I always say, these videos are for educational purposes only, even if I'm answering you directly, okay? And if you do have further questions, please comment in the comment section down below. If these videos help you, please click like, please subscribe to the channel, please share it with your friends and family. And the link to the book, Amazon link, is in the description box down below. Okay, without any ado, let's get started. So, Amy writes on my Trazodone video, what medicine were you referring to when you said dementia and early death? So, Amy, there's a few of those medications out there. Probably the most ones that are known are things like Ambien and the benzos, which are Klonopin, Xanax, things of that nature. Okay, now these medications have an association to dementia and death in the medical literature. Doesn't mean that if you are on these medicines you're going to develop those things. It doesn't work that way, but there is this association. So what I always say is if we can get somebody either off them or try something else, it's better. Okay, but there are people who patients of mine who are on them for years, and nothing else works. So it's kind of a case by case basis. But if we're looking at medical literature, those are the types of medicines that I'm referring to. Okay. Next, Chance writes, this medication being Trazodone, has helped me with depression. Though sometimes I get manic, I don't like the side effects, but the benefits are worth it for me. I have more motivation and less suicidal thoughts. That's my experience. Chance, I agree with you. As I've said before in these videos, specifically the question and answer ones, Trazodone is not for everybody. It's not. Some people have bad experience. Some people have side effects, but it works. I'm not a Trazodone, advocate in any way. It's just, it's a medicine which is good, and it doesn't really have that same profile of dementia and other things that we are concerned about. So, it's not for everybody, but it could work. So, again, like you said, if the side effects are tolerable and it helps you, it might be worth it. Okay. Sharon writes, I'm on 250 milligrams at night. I've been on for 10 years. Should I be worried? I don't think so. I heard it's what they give prisoners at night to be quiet. I never heard that before. Seroquel maybe, but I am also on clonazepam and mirtazapine as well here in the UK. Yeah, I mean those are three heavy medications, and the combination is probably something that you need. You've been on it for 10 years, so my guess is that's what works for you. You definitely have to talk to your psychiatrist or your sleep specialist about this, but there must be a reason why they put you on those three medicines. If you're stable, right? If you're doing well and sleep is okay and your anxiety and depression and whatever it is you're being managed on is okay, I would consider talking to the prescriber and say, hey, look, I've been on this for 10 years, I'm stable, can I kind of back off on some of these medicines? Clonazepam would be my first guess, but Klonopin. But I'll leave that to you and your doctor to decide. Good question. William writes, great info. Thank you. I was just prescribed Trazodone. I mentioned it to my telehealth doctor. My job was super stressful, the right medication, and I was having trouble sleeping and was just having bouts of anxiety. Makes sense. I was typically stopping on my way home from work for a small shot or two of vodka at the liquor store a few times a week to cope. Yeah, you see, that's the thing about Trazodone, right? While it's not perfect, if it's going to help somebody to prevent this type of going down this road, it's worth it. I did have Xanax a few times in the last few years for flight anxiety, very common, and I was looking for that same effect, and she prescribed the Trazodone. Good choice. I'm only a few days with the stuff, but definitely seems to be doing the trick. I do like how it's helping me sleep through the night as well, but the only drawback is it seems to curb. In the day, where it seems to curb the stress and anxiety, can make me feel a bit low energy. Yeah, so especially in the beginning, Trazodone definitely, well, not definitely, should help with those things. The anxiety should help with the sleep. But patients have said it leaves them feeling groggy the next day. I have heard that before, especially in the beginning. What I tell patients is, look, maybe start lower, like 50 milligrams is the lowest dose, maybe cut that in half, just to kind of get your body, more used to the medicine, and then kind of go up from there. I have done that before in many of my patients. So, but it sounds like it's working pretty well for you, so good. I'll definitely be dialing in my dosage over time, though, which I'm sure will help. Dialing in, I'm not sure if you mean going up or down, but yeah, just like I said, if you are having major hangover effect the next day, you may want to cut that dose down and give your body time to get used to it. I have seen that many times before where somebody comes to me and said, look, I was on Trazodone in the past, it didn't work. You find out the dosage was just too high to start. Start off very, very low, give your brain time to adjust to it, and then once you're used to it, go up from there. Okay, so maybe like 50 milligrams, 50 is the lowest dose. Maybe start half or even a quarter. I've had some patients do. Okay, or even lower. All right, good question. I'm glad you're doing well with that, William. Next, Jess Adventures writes, I have had everything from under the sun. Pretty much everything under the sun, nothing worked. And never been told about this until my aunt told me, and it has been life-saving for me. Again, another success story. Trazodone, folks, I'm saying it again, is not for everybody, but in many people it does work, and it works well. So I'm glad that worked for you, Jess. And then LC writes, is this something I could take once in a while or daily? Absolutely. That's the beauty of this. This is a medication which can be taken as needed. Now, I'll tell patients, look, I'm putting this as needed. You can take it every night. But if you just want to do it on the nights, Sunday night, let's say, or nights where it's a little bit more stressful, that's totally fine. Samir says, thank you for the information. You're welcome. I just subscribed today. Thank you. I would like to ask about zolpidem or stillnox. I've been taking insomnia medications for quite some time. Do you think it's better to change it to Trazodone? Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of zolpidem, which is Ambien. Stillnox is a medication I think they use in Europe. My preference is Trazodone for these cases because it has kind of a two-pronged effect. As I always say, it helps people to fall asleep, but it also does kind of quiet the mind down, and it's not addictive. Okay. The thing to watch out for with Trazodone is if somebody has cardiac arrhythmias, it can what's called prolong the QT, which basically is saying on the EKG there's different the waves correspond to different things. In some people, the QT, which is one of those waves, can be expanded. Not immediately life-threatening, but if you have a cardiac condition, that is something that you definitely want to talk to your cardiologist about. Okay, but outside of that, yes, I would in this case prefer Trazodone over those two medications. But you got to talk to your doctor about that. Nathan writes, if you have restless leg syndrome, should you avoid this medication? Not necessarily. I haven't seen that be an issue. But there are people who have restless legs. They're oftentimes on other medicines, so you just got to make sure that the combination approach is not leaving you feeling worse the next day. The more hungover. But you don't have to avoid this medication specifically with RLS. And then I think the last question is from Goth Girl. I've had to wean this medication because of weight gain, and I couldn't lose weight. I used 150 milligrams for 4 months. I was weaned down, and now I have withdrawal symptoms. It seems the depression is getting worse, even though I use Zoloft in the morning. To withdraw these medications, the body is sorry. The curious thing about Trazodone is I felt my nose blocked shortly after taking it. Yeah, again, it can affect people in different ways. And nose blocking, I'm not really sure about that. But I have had patients say to me, it's not the withdrawal, if you will, quote unquote. It's not like withdrawing off of a benzodiazepine like Xanax or Klonopin, for example, but it can be unpleasant, especially if you've been on it for a while. The best thing to do with any medication is to go down slowly. But yeah, these things can happen. The side effects can be there. Weight gain it's rare, but it can happen. So you didn't have a good experience with it, but fortunately there are other things. So Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for these questions. They're good. Like I said, I have no stake in Trazodone whatsoever, but that that video has drummed up a lot of questions and comments. So it's there to give people something to try outside of the kind of standard Ambien, Zolpidem. So that's the video for today. If you like this, please click like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please ask and questions, comments, leave them all in the comment section down below. You'll see I'll get to every one of them. The next video, the part 2 of this, is going to be the non-Trazodone questions. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Until next time, sleep well.